We've got you covered all season long. Welcome to the BCSN Nation podcast, powered by Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, here it is, Season 3, Episode 20 of the BCSN Nation podcast, Episode 101, brought to you and powered by, of course, Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go, sports bar! Brandon Carnes here with Justin Feldkamp and Dion Thompson. We got a good one here for you, gentlemen. We are just about a month-ish left in the regular season for hoops, and I want to know if you guys have a favorite moment, a favorite game of the season so far. Dion, you can go first, my man.
Oh, man. Well, my moment, Sam Wiles.
Yep.
From BG. I mean,
Tough to argue.
A lot of people didn't think that game meant a lot, but it did mean something.
Sure.
And that shot, we play it over and over. That's probably going to be possibly one of our plays of the year, kind of forecasting a little bit. But my game was 𝗦𝗫𝗏 Sr., and I'll tell you why. Only because we don't really get to see that the old track, excuse me. And we don't get a chance to see the good teams play against good teams. Sure. So I honestly had 𝗦𝗏 Sr. as one of my top teams. When Whitmer beat them, that to me, that solidified that, okay, they are who they say they were. So those are my two right now.
Absolutely. I don't have to argue either one of those, Justin.
I'll add a few others. I had the BG Springfield game that Dion mentioned. I'll say girls, January 6th, start at Bowser, start one in overtime. That was a great City League showdown. Likely see both of them in the championship game of the City League here coming up. I'll say boys, Anthony Wayne at start on December 30th. Blake Robeson hit a runner with about 3 seconds to go. Clock wound down, and the buzzer sounded. Anthony Wayne won 67-65. And then two more. December 13th, St. Francis hosting St. John's. St. Francis wins that close game.
Yep.
And then just recently, across the border, Blissfield at Whiteford, Keegan Thomas buzzer beater. Gave up on a 3 on the other end, but made up for it and responded with a game-winning shot and win a game against a rival. So Whiteford boys get it done recently. Yeah,
those are literally the last two things you said were where I was going. That St. Francis, St. John's first matchup. I mean, standing room only. Couldn't have asked for a better matchup. Chris Polnitz at the end with the winner. And then, Keegan Thomas, that great shot for Whiteford north of the border. We got plenty of great stuff coming up for you today. Sean's Irish Tavern Player of the Week, our Clip of the Week, Renewal by Anderson, Game of the Week. Plenty more to talk about. We'll get into some Battle of I-75 coming up this weekend. If you want brand new episodes, stay right here every single Wednesday, 4 p.m. on BCSN or bcsnnation.com/podcast, anywhere you get your audio platforms, iHeartRadio, Amazon, all of them, anywhere, everywhere, all the time. And while you're there, anywhere, ever there, all the time, it's at BCSN Sports, anywhere, everywhere, and all the time on all of your social media pages. But we're getting right into it, gentlemen. Agree to disagree is here to stay, unless we want to change it. That's up to our discretion. But I want to talk about the CHSL teams, the 419 CHSL teams, St. Francis, St. John's, Central Catholic. We've seen them head-to-head, back and forth, really, in all their matchups. But I think we can all agree before we start this that they are all dangerous teams, Justin.
Oh, 100%. We talked about it. Dion's mentioned it a bunch of times. Playing in that Detroit Catholic League is only going to pay dividends come tournament time in Ohio, and it's hard to kind of keep track of it. Central beat St. John's, lost to St. John's. Central beat St. Francis. St. Francis beat St. John's, but lost to St. John's. St. Francis lost to Central Catholic. St. John's lost to St. Francis, but then beat St. Francis. St. Johnson lost to Central Catholic, but beat Central Catholic. I mean, it's hard to keep track of all of it because we talk about the parity. And we beat you, but then we lost to you. Back and forth from December up until now. So I think it speaks to a volume of things. 1, 3 terrific head coaches.
Yes.
Who want to build a program, not just have success and go elsewhere or just have one good year and have 3 years that are poor and then one good year. They want to build a program. 2, that there's parity across the board. There's talent at all 3 of those spots for the Irish, the Knights, and the Titans. And then you're getting that balanced attack effort across the board as opposed to having 1 or 2 guys who are taking all the headlines.
Dion, if you had to look at these 3 teams, we've seen them go back and forth, head to head. If you had to pick, this is the best team of the 3, where are you going?
I'm going Central Catholic, and I'm going to tell you why. Only because, they lost to St. John's last Friday, obviously, but Manny Johnson didn't play. You take out 14 points out of your lineup. More importantly, what he does defensively.
Agreed.
I'm not sure the way Ethan was playing that day, Ethan James. weren't going to be a whole lot of people that could stay in front of him. But I thought Manny Johnson has the athleticism. He has the long arms. He could have created some problems. Yeah. So, in my opinion, right now, and it's narrow. I think Central Catholic by narrow. Did I go with St. John's? Did I go with St. Francis?
Yeah, I agree. Losing Carruthers, right? He was banged up playing in that matchup, so things change back and forth. Great, and we'll see all three of them, I'm sure, hopefully, make deep playoff runs. But now, talking about playoff runs, I can't see this Anthony Wayne girls season ending anywhere but in Dayton. I don't know if I'm too high on this or where I'm at. Bring me to where I need to be, Justin.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement. I mean, based on talking to Jamie Carter and the players, especially the seniors, that's 100% their expectations to get to Dayton, where the Final Four is. Keep in mind, it's a little different setup. We saw our first experience with it in the fall sport, so it's not all at UD Arena. You're going to have the ancillary, bigger Dayton schools host the semifinals, and then the championship games will be at UD Arena. But I was taking a look at the broad spectrum across the state. They're in Division II, so you got teams like Winton Woods and then Anthony Wayne when you're talking about the RPI rankings. Other teams that they may run into down the road, Westerville South, Big Walnut, Bishop Watterson, Harrison. Green is a team in the top 10 in the RPI, and Anthony Wayne just smoked them. Olmsted Falls and Wadsworth, a couple of them. Anthony Wayne just beat Mason, which is a Division I power. They beat him 61-47 at a neutral site. They were the #1 RPI team in the Southwest District South. So they've already proven that they can beat a caliber opponent like that. Brooke Bender just surpassed 1,000 career points. Laura and Layla Brenneman, Kennedy and Addison Hill, Leah Pike, Corin Volts, those players that support and build and complement Elise and Brooke Bender. They have a well-rounded team. Their coaching staff is great. Coach Carter and Jay Gass as an assistant. I mean, they have all the pieces to make a run. It's just a matter of do you have that game where it's a hiccup, or you don't have a shot dropping in the postseason and a district championship. Nerves are on the line, and that could play a factor. But that's just bringing up the possible obstacles, Dion. I think this is a team that is Dayton bound.
I think I'm going to agree. And here's the thing about that team. They have so many pieces, as you mentioned. So if you got a couple people, not on their game that night, they got people that can pick up the slack. That's where other teams struggle. Sometimes their top goes down, their top 2 or top 1 player goes down, and it's like, oh, my God, what we're going to do. I think Anthony Wayne is a well-oiled machine. I'm glad that they stepped out and played some competition.
Well, a lot.
Yeah, they had to, because honestly, you can get a false sense of security if you're playing around
winning
here.
By 50 against everybody.
And then when you finally get challenged, you don't know what to do. So I think credit to the coaching staff for the scheduling. One, I think they have what it takes to get down there. Now, can they win it? That remains to be seen, but I think they can get there.
Yeah, so there are 2 losses this season, right? They're 14-2. Their 2 losses have come to Max Preps' number 19 team in the country. That's Cincinnati Purcell Marion. And their number 12 team in the nation in Lawrence Central from Indiana. Both of those good games, a 10-point game and a 7-point game. So they're right there in with it. Like Justin said, they're the number 2 ranked team in Division II RPI behind Winton Woods down in Cincinnati. So short travel for Winton Woods if they match up in the state title game. We'll see if that happens. But Dion already alluded to who was our Sean's Irish Tavern player of the week. He knows who it is. We all know who it is. Hit the wipe. We'll talk about who it is. Cisco, do it. All right, we're going to the Titan Dome. Well, it was at the Sullivan, but we're going to the Titan Dome to give the award away. Why not? Ethan James from St. John's, 17 points in their win over Central Catholic. But what Ethan James does is a lot of times so much more than what the points are on the stat sheet, right? His defense, Coach Mike Schoen talked about it, where he's got a natural confidence, a poise about him. He's becoming a complete point guard. He talked about his defense and the ability that they've played so many very talented guards, and how that's just helped him get better and better as things have gone on, Justin.
Iron sharpens iron. You talked about the complete point guard. And St. John's has had quite a few really, really good point guards. So for Coach Schoen, who's been a part of that program for 2+ decades as a student, as an assistant, and now as a head coach, when he says that, it holds some worth to it. And I think Ethan James has become reliable on offense and defense, and then clutch late in games. And Dion, I speak about it. It doesn't necessarily mean, okay, you're dropping 10 points in the fourth quarter. It just means you're making the right, appropriate basketball play. If that's getting a guy open and feeding with an assist, or playing lockdown defense against the guy who you know is going to try to score on you guys late in the game, doing that, he just does what is needed for the team. And I think that's why Coach Schoen values his upward trajectory so much. And he's only a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty darn good news if you got a complete point guard as a sophomore on varsity.
So one of the things I look at when I watch players, he's a right-handed player. I watch their ability to pivot. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a fan of Jay Wright. So if you guys know who Jay Wright is, he's coached at Villanova. And one of his drills would be dribble in the paint, reverse pivot. If you watch Ethan James, he can get downhill, stop with 2 feet, and pivot on either foot. That's why he's so effective. You know,
Sure.
A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people get in the lane and they go right up. If you pay attention to him close, guys, great fundamentals. He'll stop. If he doesn't have it, he can reverse pivot, kick it out. He can kick it down. That's what makes him effective. I mean, young guys, look it up. I know it's a basic skill. I'm sure Coach Schoen works on that.
Yeah.
But that's what impresses me the most about him, is footwork and his ability to stay in front of guys on the defensive end. And it all starts with footwork. But watch some of the plays he makes, like with his pivots and stuff like that in the lane. That's not easy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah, we saw flashes of this version of Ethan James as just a freshman last year. He's building and building, only getting better. Mike Schoen's got 2 more full years with him. Shout out to Ethan James, our Sean's Irish Tavern Player of the Week. We'll be right back after 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings. Hit it, Cisco.
Buffalo Wild Wings buy one, get one free boneless Thursdays saved me so much cash, I can finally do everything I've ever wanted in life, like skydiving. You ready? No, this was a mistake, a huge mistake. I want to go back. I want to go back. Go! Ah! Yeah, I'll probably just use the money I saved to get more buy one, get one free boneless wings at B-Dubs. No brainer. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
All right, we talked last Friday on Game Day Nation about our favorite rivalries in the area. We neglected to mention the Battle of I-75, and shame on us because they're squaring off men's and women's this weekend. So we're going to take a little bit of time to assess how both of the teams have played on the guys' side, on the girls' side. We'll start with last night because the men at Toledo had a tough night. Kent State came in and shot the lights out. They were 80% from 3 in the first half, 64% from 3 for the game. They only shoot 27% from behind the arc, does Kent State. And one of those nights where just not a lot went right. And TK said after the game where just that, he was like, oh, this wasn't it for us.
I appreciate Coach 𝗶𝗴𝗵 in the fact that he tells it like it is.
Yes.
He was honest, in some cases brutally honest, and I think he has that level of communication and transparency with his team, so he can say that to the media because he says it to the group in the locker room or says it to players one-on-one.
Yeah.
But both of these teams, BG and UT, the game is at BG on Friday night at 6 o'clock, a special earlier time for CBS Sports Network national cable broadcast that you can get on Buckeye Broadband, by the way. Sherwin Shelton, our reporter, will be there on the scene for highlights and post-games interviews with OT and Basketball Friday coming at your way. But UT has balanced scoring, so I can appreciate that. But at some point, it's kind of put up or shut up type of deal. Yeah. And they're going to have to get these wins because Coach 𝗶𝗴𝗵 said he has a team that's prepared to go win another straight title for the nickel, 5 in a row. Easier said than done in many aspects. And then for BG, they got smoked at Miami. And I shouldn't say smoked. They were into it for a little bit, but they dropped to 2-4 in the MAC. Marcus Johnson, Javante Campbell, Trey Thomas, 3 players who have started all of their games. But Sam Towns' injury prior to Thanksgiving has kind of hurt him a little bit. And Coach Todd Simon is saying they can't really get over the hump. That's been the story of their season all season long. And that's what they're looking at, an uphill battle, Dion.
Guys, and this is a legit question. Would you not agree that the basketball rivalry between BG and Toledo is probably better than Ohio State, Michigan's basketball rivalry?
Oh, yeah. I would
being
say,
serious.
yeah, there's a lot more passion between the two.
Yes.
It loses some in basketball side for Michigan Ohio State.
Yes. So, I mean, when you get those two teams together, and I looked at it just from a historical perspective, I'm like, man, I know, we love football, obviously, here, but I think that basketball rivalry is outstanding, and you're going to be able to see 2 great teams, locking up, and like you said, I mean, last night, when you're shooting 63, 64%, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And then 57% from the field. They were just hot. There's not much you can do about that when a team is that hot. So, I'm excited to see how that game, you throw records out this game. You legitimately do. So we'll see what happens.
So the men will play Friday night, as Justin mentioned. The women will take it on at Savage on Saturday. And a tale of really two sides for Bowling Green, right? Early season wins over Arkansas, Xavier, Marquette, back-to-back-to-back. And then a tough start to MAC play for the women. Head coach Ginny Boggess's first season. Slow starts have been kind of the key to watching Toledo women's basketball.
Yeah, look at the all-time series between BG and UT women. 89 games. BG leads 45-44. That's how heated and balanced
That's a rivalry, baby.
So, I mean, if UT wins, it's perfectly dead even. But BG 9-3 or 9-8, 3-3 overall, averaging 69 points a game, allowing 68. So the margin of error is very, very small for this team. You got Liberty Benton's Lauren Gherkin, a freshman. She's got 5 starts. BG is 1-7 on the road, so they're going to Savage Arena. Coach Ginny Boggess, they lost to Ball State on Monday morning, so they're coming off a loss. You got Sammy McConowitz from Rossford and Kendall Carruthers from Springfield, both local talents on the team. Kendall Braden from Toledo Christian is out with an injury. No word yet on when she'll be back. But this is going to be, I wouldn't say a measuring stick game, Dion, just because both of these teams kind of know what they got thus far, and it's not as if one has a severe advantage over the other. But still, anytime you can get a MAC win and against your rival, it's like a double win.
Then you got Destiny Robinson, who's playing like 22 minutes a game now. So you have to understand, and she's playing it at the point guard, freshman. So, you got to always factor that in because that's a very difficult position to come in and play as a young person. I think coach is doing a great job starting off, but it's still a transition. We're talking about a new coach, new players, still trying to figure it out. Yeah, replacing a legend. Legitimately. And she's doing great, by the way, down in Miami. Yeah. But this is another game that's going to be, let's be honest, this game is probably going to be more crowded than the guys.
Yeah.
We love our women's basketball around here, particularly the college basketball. So it's going to be a good game. Guys, get out there and support those ladies.
Yeah, my one complaint is that when they rematch each other, they both play on February 22nd, the men and women at alternating arenas. I hate that they're playing each other on the same day because it takes away from the crowd being at both games.
I wish they could do it.
Yeah. While I gripe about that, Cisco, hit the wipe because we got a clip of the week to get to. I'll complain while we're in the wipe. Clip of the week. Big play at Whitmer Memorial Fieldhouse. Antoine West is back. Hey, 𝗦𝗫𝗍 is happy about it. All right. Up in the air from 35 feet out. Antoine West put that thing on a dime. 𝗦𝗫𝗍. He knows how to get up. He knows how to finish. A great win for Whitmer over Southview, 80-53, I believe, final score. Yeah, I remember things. Antoine West, 16 points in that one. 𝗦𝗫𝗍, 23 points. Great to have your D1 Purdue commit back, right?
To throw it to a D1 BGSU commit.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a product of playing together and knowing each other well, and they were still practicing together to a certain degree, even when West was out from games, coming back from an illness. But yeah, just a high level. Not too many teams in our area can do what you're watching right now. So yeah, they had a great connection there.
I tried to break this play down, and it really is not much to break down. They lost 𝗦𝗫𝗍 somehow in the back.
Yeah, I don't know how you forget about that guy.
It wasn't anything flashy, no screen. Yeah, you saw a guy flash it to the high post, but legitimately, all eyes were on West when he had the basketball like 30 feet away. And Leach just
deservedly so.
Yeah, but I mean, I was sitting there, okay, because Rhett and I like to break down plays. I was like, okay, let me see the technical aspect of this play. It really wasn't. That's a very difficult pass.
Oh yeah,
it might not look like it on TV
because he makes it look so casual.
That's not easy.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of for Southview in their defense is I think maybe because how close of the pass was to the rim that it might have looked like a shot. So I think that backside defender might have been saying, "Oh, okay, I need to box out because it's a shot and I need to try to get the rebound." But they executed what they did.
From your hip is a shot? I don't know.
I mean, well, I know I see that, but I mean, there's the relative closeness to the rim.
So
But yeah.
So my question was, first I'm like, okay, are they in a 2-3, maybe looking to trap potentially? But I'm like, okay, they're down by a lot, so they're obviously probably not in the zone. So I was trying to break it down. It's just a great play.
Great play. We can watch it over and over again. If you want to, head over to our TikTok. That's at BCSN Sports. But now we got to get into a student section of the week. The Eagles, they're already the back-to-back student section of the season winter winners. They're the winners for the student section of the week this week. They're taking on Emmanuel Christian. big TAACtion rivalry this Friday night. They'll pack the stadium. You see it in the picture. They always do. Shout out to Toledo Christian, our student section of the week, brought to you by Unison Health and the Mental Health Recovery Services Board of Lucas County. But now we got to get to girls hoops very quickly. Perrysburg and Northview this Friday in some NLL Buckeye action. Thursday, 7:15 p.m., Justin.
All right, so no Chloe Kilbride for Perrysburg. She's out with an injury. No Haley Griggs, star softball player, committed to Florida State. She opted not to play basketball this season. So Coach Todd Sims already kind of up against it, compounded by Chloe Kilbride's injury. There's a number of players on these two teams, Northview and Perrysburg, that are likely going to be on our top 30s list for top 30 boys and girls watch list for first team all BCSN. We come out with that FYI on Friday, January 31st. So not this Friday, but next Friday. But Pat Sayer and Todd Sims battling for 10 years in the NLL. Yeah. And during that time, Perrysburg leads the series against Northview 11-9. So both teams have succeeded against each other throughout the past decade. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. It's kind of hard to pick who should win because you look at the RPI ratings that the OHSA puts out with Max Preps. Northview's RPI, 0.643, Perrysburg's 0.535. So there's not a huge wide gap between those teams. This game is Thursday at 7:15 on BCSN Plus, so we'll find out.
But you said a key piece. Chloe Kilbride, her out the game. I mean,
massive.
I think the edge obviously goes to Northview right now.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 losses for Northview this season. Bedford and Anthony Wayne, 2 pretty good programs if you're going to have some losses to it. But now it's game of the week time. We can't wait any longer. Brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon. Cisco, you know what to do. You know one thing about the BCSN Nation podcast, you know we love TAACtion. Game of the week brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon, Toledo Christian, and Emmanuel. I just talked about it for student section of the week. I'm not done talking about it. Friday, 7:15 p.m. on the community channel because the Walleye are in town, because Game Day Nation is rolling around, and the BCSN Plus app. Carter Kester, the only player in the area averaging a double-double, 26 and 10 as of last week. That's maybe gone up a little bit. He dropped 35 last week against Northwood. A big matchup for both of these teams. Dion.
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched Emmanuel against Maumee Valley last week, and they're a different team without Nate Miles.
Yep.
Yes, unsurprisingly so.
He is to Emmanuel what Carter is to Toledo Christian.
Oh, yeah, without question.
So, you take a player of that caliber out of the lineup, I just don't see him getting it done. I mean, stranger things have happened, but right now, the way Carter is playing, I just don't see it happening.
A lot of things to break down in this one. So this is 2 of the top 4 teams in the TAAC right now. If you look at the standings, Ottawa Hills is 5-1, TC's 4-1, Maumee Valley Country Day 3-2, EC 3-2. So this game 100% matters when it comes to chasing that title. And you got Ottawa Hills, Maumee Valley Country Day, and TC all in the same Division 6 district. So only one team's coming out of that district, and it's basically a little mini TAAC tournament once you get into it, sprinkled in with some other teams. But in talking to Coach Tyler Boris and Coach Sed Harris in this one, both of them brought up winning the rebounding battle as far as keys to the game. Yeah. Boris said that TC's got to limit turnovers. Kester and Silas got to get their points, and then they need about 8 to 14 points between the other 4 of their top 6 players. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They can specify the amount of points that they would need to get over the hump and get a victory against a TAAC rival. And then Coach Harris said, win the rebounding battle, limit Kester. You know, he's a great player. You know, he's going to get some points, but you got to limit him and kind of make him work for everything. Sure. Execute in the half court. Play together for 4 quarters. I'm thinking, I'm in reading between the lines with Coach Harris that maybe that has not been the case with his team throughout the season. And then the young guys got to step up. Trombley, Mr. Hester, 𝗬𝗎 Martin, all those guys got to they got to earn their stripes here at the varsity level, even though they're young.
Yeah, that's a big thing, right? Trombley and Mr. having to step up into a giant hole left by Nate Miles' inability to play due to OHSA restriction, right?
This is what's good about not having a shot clock, okay? You can win a game like this.
Hey,
because, you can kind of hang on to the ball a little bit. I think if I'm Emmanuel, I make them defend. I take my time. And we want to keep this score low. And I think if they do that, that's their only opportunity to win this.
That's the other thing. Watching TC play, the addition of Silas Mickle starting to fill in some buckets. The hole left behind by all those guys that graduated, Hessen, Gaston, and the sort, right? Carter Kester's filling part of that, but there's been games where you got to have somebody else fill the role. And Silas Mickle stepping into that has helped him a ton, taking a little bit of pressure off or giving him somebody to kick to reliably to hit the bucket.
You got a player of the year. I mean, let's be honest. Carter Kester right now,
26 and 10.
He's the player of the year in that conference. And it's good that because he commands so much attention.
Yeah.
And now those other guys, they get good looks. And that's all you ask for, knock down the easy looks.
Yeah, I think all those guys, the top flight guys in each of those teams are kind of trying to prove something. And Carter Kester proved it on the football field. Last time we talked to him in regards to our top recruit segment, he kind of has some potential options, not necessarily big-time Division I programs for football or basketball, but the chance to play one of those sports at a college at any level just speaks for itself. I mean, that's tremendous athleticism, and I say it all the time, multi-sport athletes and the benefits of that. But, he's definitely one to watch. And like Dion alluded to at the top of this topic, when you don't have your star player, Emmanuel Christian, it's a severe drop-off in many cases. And you don't just flip a switch and, okay, I can now be the man or I can be one of the top two guys. You got to absorb it and you got to grow and learn into that role. It's not like Coach Harris can just say, okay, tap you on the shoulder. You're the guy. Go give me 21.
You're Nate Miles now. Check out how this TAACtion shakes out, 7:15 on the community channel. We'll be talking about it plenty on Game Day Nation, I'm sure of it. But there was a national championship on Monday. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. The Buckeyes bringing home the first ever 12-team college football playoff championship. Quinshon Judkins was essential to this win. Jeremiah Smith, Howard, excuse me, I'm mixing Sam Howell, wrong school, wrong year. Howard, 17-21, Will Howard, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 57 yards on the ground. They really limited Notre Dame in their rushing game, which was a pivotal part of Notre Dame all season. 13 yards rushing from not Riley Leonard was Notre Dame's offense. Tough to get anything done, and the Silver Bullets on defense did what they did all college football playoff.
And everybody's questioning the 3-point, attempt. I listened to Marcus Freeman talk about it, what his thought process was. I think more importantly to me was, how did Jeremiah Smith get so open, in that last series?
He's pretty good at that thing.
He is good, but you got to know the guy was playing off coverage.
Sure.
If you're a defensive back, you're playing off. Your first rule, I cannot let the guy come right up on me. I got to turn and run with him.
Yep.
He stayed in his pedal a little bit too long, and that was a key play right there because they were actually in the game. Better game than I thought it would be.
Yeah, freshman All-American versus freshman All-American in that setup there. And that play is going to be remembered in Buckeye lore, 57 yards, 3rd and 11. They had an opportunity to play, I guess, more conservatively and run with the running back or run with the quarterback once again, drain some more clock. But they go for the home run. They go for the jugular, and they got it. So I think that play is going to be remembered because Ohio State won. And then the play against Texas, Jack Sawyer, strip, sack, scoop, and score, whatever it was, 70-some yards. That is going to be a play that is going to be remembered forever because that catapulted them into the national championship game. But a great game for Toledo. I mean, Notre Dame and Ohio State gets the dub.
All right. We want to shout out Directions Credit Union as well as Gallon Tactics and Boys and Alt for all of their support as we took Sports Nightly on the road and sent Mark Coons all over the place. We'll be back after 30 seconds from Buffalo Wild Wings. We got a games list to get to.
I've saved so much money enjoying Buffalo Wild Wings BOGO half-off Traditional Wing Tuesdays. I can finally afford everything I've ever wanted in life. Wings. All I ever wanted was more wings. So yeah, buy one, get one half-off Traditional Wings is the perfect deal for me and my lifetime yearnings. I value it more than literally anything. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations, not valid with other offers or discounts. See website or app for details.
All right, we got a games list full of more games than B-Dubs has sauces. Girls basketball on Thursday. There's more games on Thursday that I can't even fit on this graphic. Perrysburg, Northview on Thursday, as well as more on that. ECHL hockey, the Walleye are back in town taking on Kalamazoo. Toledo Christian EC, our game of the week. Detroit Jesuit coming to town to take on Central. O'Hill's Maumee Valley in more TAACtion. De La Salle, St. Francis. Northview, Anthony Wayne in Buckeye action. Napoleon Clay in Cardinal action. Lincoln to Bedford north of the border. And then we got Tamo Shanter, hockey, Perrysburg, and Anthony Wayne. I'm out of breath. Somebody else talk, please.
2 games. Detroit Jesuit, Central Catholic. That's going to be Supreme Town on the court. And Ottawa Hills, Maumee Valley Country Day. Supremacy within the TAC up for grabs there. Looking to see Ottawa Hills. They don't necessarily have a Carter Kester-like guy, but they have balanced scoring. Jackson Snyder is great. But
Chase
going up
Miller.
against Maumee Valley Country Day, that's an important, critical, crucial game here late in February.
And a big one, I think, for St. Francis. They got to right the ship. They've lost 5 in a row, I think it is right now. They got to right the ship, get their guys playing, especially a CHSL game. That's it. That's it. Plenty of stuff going on Friday night. Make sure you check out. Justin will be there. I'll be there. Keon's out of town. We'll have Hobbs in the building on Friday with Rhett. That's it for us. We'll see you here next Wednesday. We're out.